All right. Hey, what's up, guys? MetaGamesGX here. We're at Genesis Gaming, and we have Dana here returning to the channel for a second time with her first place deck profile from winning locals tonight. Right off the heels of hosting the charity event, so shout out to Dana for that. And what did you play today?
I played gross. That's what I did. I just played pure Spright, and it's not even a good pure Spright deck. But it's the pure Spright deck that I know how to play, and it ended up honestly doing exactly what I needed it to today. A lot of like OTKs type of stuff with like cat shark combos and gamma burst, which I see a lot of people not actually running this card, but it really comes up a lot.
Okay, yeah, and you have the Bystials and all that. And I mean, honestly, ever since you started using this deck, I feel like you've been killing it at local. So would love to let's get into this.
Yeah, so it's basic Spright engine. You have the 3 blue, 3 jet. 2 red is very important. I see a lot of people only running 1 red. This card really comes up, especially if you're playing Mannequin Cat. Because somebody will like ash you or something, you can go into Mannequin Cat, spec their ash, and then you get a free Spright red essentially, or a carrot even. But 2 Spright reds is really, really, really important in my opinion, and just 1 carrot is fine. How
do you feel about the Pixies? That's an interesting pick.
Yeah, the Pixies is an interesting pick. That's kind of one of those things where it's like Gamma Burst, where it comes up. If like, depending on your opening hand, you could open blue, jet, red, and then, you can, like, search carrot off of blue and get everything else, and then, like, you can grab, like, if you're going second, honestly, jet at that situation would probably just grab you Gamma Burst. You wouldn't want to get, like, starter, but if you were to get starter, or even going into Gigantic Sprite, summoning Pixies would be really good, because this card sort of just... This card gets you over, like, huge monsters. Like,
did it come up today?
Actually, it didn't, but making it a 2800 attack with Gamma Burst did come up. That one won me a game. So, 2 starter, rip starter, 2 smashers. This is something I don't see a lot of Spright players doing as well. This card really comes up, especially if you're playing, first and you have to, set a smashers or something. If you're able to search this off of like jet when it comes back to your turn, searching a smashers and using it to get something off the field non-target is really, really, really good. So that's why I play 2 smashers. Gamma Burst is kind of just jet stuff, so that's why that is there.
You like it for OTKs? You want to cut it?
It's really cool for OTKs, and you can use it in the graveyard to just like kind of surprise your opponent. Like, oh yeah, like here's an extra 1400 attack there. So
nice.
1 double cross, that's a very basic thing. 2 Pot of Prosperity. I don't own a 3rd, so that's why.
Or else you'd run 3.
Yeah, I would definitely run 3, but I just don't own a 3rd.
Broken card.
So 3 imperms, 1 called by the grave. Those are kind of self-explanatory. 3 nimble beaver, 2 angler. That's also kind of self-explanatory. I also shout out the hero players. I play 1 prodigy. That card is very, very funny to open, and just.
Do you like it?
Summon. Yeah, it's awesome. I would never cut it.
Yeah.
So. 2 Magnamut. Yeah, there's. Nothing crazy about 2 Magnamut. 1 Druis Worm, 1 Baldrake. They all come up in their own right.
So yeah, what do you like these guys? I'm assuming it's really for branded, but like, how do you like it in general? Like the Bystial package?
It's really good because they aren't bricks. Especially if, say you have a Magnamut and, they affect, there's some kind of like light or dark monster in their graveyard. Almost no matter what deck you're playing, you're going to find that. Aside from like, certain water decks or, like if you're going against Salad. But even then you still find like, like ogres and stuff that people will use, or discard cards, or send from deck to graveyard. So it really helps, and they're not completely a brick because you have your own dark and light monsters. So,
yep.
And Magmut's great because it searches whichever one you need in the moment. I mean, if you're going like if they have a big guy, you can Druis Worm and then you summon a level 2 or whatever, do your level 2 stuff, and then just link out into Sprint because Sprint only requires 1, and then you just chain however you feel in the moment there.
And Baldrake's great for setting up on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, and Baldrake actually won me a game today because Marincess summoned something, and I just was like, yeah, no, sorry, you just don't get this. And I actually ended up tributing a carrot off my field. No, I tributed Downward Magician, which I shouldn't have even tried summoning, but it changed my mosquito from wind to dark, so I was actually able to do that. Only purpose of Downward Magician in this deck is to change something to a dark monster, honestly. The card kind of sucks. It's really just a prosperity filler card right now.
Yeah.
It's 3 Ash, 2 Ogre. I only run 2 Ogre because that's a Mannequin Cat target because you can send it from the field. So very big deal there. I often side out just 1 Ogre when it comes to things like if I need to side in 5 cards and I'm siding out my Bystial engine because I'm playing against a water deck or something. I'll side out an additional. I'll just do an Ogre and then play first. And if something happens where it's a light monster or turn 1 when I'm playing the Effect Veiler, then I just spec their Effect Veiler and get an Ogre on my field for free.
How do you feel about this hand trap lineup between the 3 Imperm, Bystials, and the Ashes, and the Ghost Ogres and Veilers? I feel like you'll be able to play on your opponent's turn no matter what, but does it ever kind of brick or anything, or would you change up the ratios at all, rather?
Not necessarily. As long as you have a level 2 or a starter in your hand, none of these are bricks because you're usually able to normal summon them. A lot of things will special summon. So if you have like a Nimble Beaver and you're going to use that as your normal summon, you don't need to worry about summoning these. But if you have say a Prodigy or like a starter, you just need to get something on the field in order to get sprint combo to go with the Angler and stuff, then you can just tribute him. But that honestly has never once come up because the deck is just fairly consistent. I mean, if you brick, and that's just part of the game. So, but honestly,
how many cards in main deck?
Absolutely essential. 40. This is a 40 card deck.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's absolutely essential like this.
No. Yeah. I think it's very strong the way that you have it. So.
Yeah. Moving on to extra deck, this is where the deck actually kind of just isn't as strong, in my opinion. I run 3 Gigantic Spright. It really, really comes up because you're able to get 1 off of Prosperity if you really need to. If something else is absolutely essential and you're just like, oh, I need to, I can just get rid of 1of those, and then you still have 2. I've had games where I've actually put all 3 on board just for the damage.
Yeah.
1 of Cat Shark, no explanation there. You just kind of have to run it, especially when you have that Gigantic Spright with a Link monster under it, because it's that important getting a 6400 attack. And that's also where Gamma Burst and Pixies comes in, because you just hit for 78 right there, and if you have anything else on the field, you just end it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shadow Mosquito, it comes up every now and then. That card's really, really interesting. If you're attacking, you can do a lot of damage with it. You just attack with it, you put the counter on it, you attack with Gigantic Spright, you detach, or not detach, you detach for the counter, but you attack with Gigantic Spright, and then you just deal them the damage of their attack, the monster. So it's essentially kind of like how an Honest would work almost.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Pixies. So you can actually OTK really easily with having a Pixies on the field, a Gamma Burst, and the Ninja, because you can just do all of that and you hit for just an absolute ton of damage because of this burn. So it's a really, really cool just one monster going in kind of deal. Sky Cavalry usually just goes out with Prosperity. I've summoned it maybe once or twice. I honestly don't think it's the best card to summon, but there's circumstances where it can be really, really good.
You'd probably cut this for Zeus.
Yeah, definitely. Downward Magician is in here for just because it's Downward Magician. Like I said, it did one good thing. It changed Shadow Mosquito to Dark, so I could do a Baldrake play earlier, but that's really all it does. It honestly, card kind of sucks. It's supposed to be in decks for Zeus and stuff like that, but I don't actually own a Zeus. That's why you don't see it here. Mannequin Cat, absolutely essential.
Crazy card.
Card's just absolutely ridiculous. Like I say, someone ashes you and you're just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna get a free Sprite Red or a free Carrot, or they hit you with an Effect Veiler or something. You're like, okay, well, I'm gonna get a free Ghost Ogre. Hopefully, you're not locked into 2s at that point. But it, random things. So with Mannequin Cat, you can do some really cool stuff, and especially with sideboard stuff with Mannequin Cat. 2 Sprite Sprint, you don't really need more. Card's absolutely broken. I even play it in my Goatee deck because I'll be able to summon Herald of the Arclight, and then you just banish a fish essentially. So this card is just one of my favorite cards that has ever been printed in the recent sets, to be honest with you.
Really?
IP Masquerena, Phoenix, and Unicorn. I just put them all right there because they're just, they're just their own line. That's how they kind of work. I mean, Unicorn's a different deal, but IP into Phoenix is a different deal. IP into Unicorn is just one of those classic staples. So.
Yeah, of course.
Akashic Magician. This is a weird.
How do you
one.
like this?
It's probably my favorite Link monster in this deck.
Really? Wow. So it's very high value.
Absolutely. I don't think I would ever cut it. A lot of.
What does it do?
As soon as you summon it, it's going to bounce monsters that it points to. So if you don't play it the right way, you could bounce a monster that you control. And I actually did this and almost lost because of it. I kind of completely misplayed. I bounced my own Spright Red, and I had already special summoned it, and normal summon. So I couldn't do anything with that, which is really, really bad. And there wasn't even a monster that my opponent had that it was pointing. So I summoned it, and it just went. I probably should have just gone an IP. I was just trying to link climb, and I didn't think about it. So you have to be careful with that card, but I mean, it is so good.
Still good.
Bouncing, because it does not target.
Oh,
So
that's crazy, actually.
It just bounces what it points to. So, yeah. And I don't think I'll ever cut that card. A lot of people think it sucks.
But people don't play around it, so yeah.
That's the thing. Nobody plays around it. I mean, it's like Relinquished Anima. Like, if you're not playing around Relinquished Anima, you're going to get your monster took. So... there's that. And then, of course, Access Code Talker as part of the IP, Nightmare Unicorn Link Climb.
We love Access Code.
3 Ghost Spells in the sideboard here. Nothing
like
special
bells?
about it. I like bells this format. I really hate graveyard decks and this. A lot of my previous sideboards, they'd have Evenlays in it. They'd have Ice Dragons, Prisons, 3 Bells, 3 Crows, just pure graveyard hate because I'm still traumatized from a tier format. But yeah, it's just the 3 Bells. I can't ever go without them because I just see so many things that Bell can get, and
Hits Math Mech super hard right now, and then also Runick on the Runick.
Yeah, and Salad's kind of coming in with the Adventure Engine. That's going to become a little bit more accessible. So I feel like we're going to be seeing some more Salad players. I think we're going to be seeing some kind of Phantom Knight. That might not really be a thing because Bystial still exists, but I feel like Phantom Knight could come back just a little bit because the Adventure Engine just gets a little bit more accessible for people.
Yeah,
expensive,
it will be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. I don't have Gamma Seals. That's it. That's the explanation.
Yeah, same.
DD Crow. I only run 2 because I only own 2. Actually, wait, I might own 5, but I think I have 3 in another deck, and to be honest, I'm happy with it at 2 because I have the 3 bells.
I don't think you need Crow at 3.
Yeah, I mean...
With the 3.
Well, you're also a branded player, so...
I have no opinion.
Your opinion on DD Crow doesn't matter to me. But,
You're so rude and call him a branded player.
Yeah, I mean, I like Crow at 2 only because I play the 4 Bystials. Otherwise, I would be absolutely running that card at 3. I think it's one of the best, traps in the game right now.
Would you ever cut this though?
Never.
Yeah.
It stops, people from getting their spells and traps back. So it hits, Labyrinth. It's, it can hit Runick, and at times it really, really destroys Marinsys players as that card, as that deck started becoming a little bit more popular with the new Ice J tuner. I think ran Azurine. So Crow is just absolutely essential in my opinion. 2 Lightning Storm. It's at 2.
Got play it.
That's why I have 2. These are the 2 weird ones. Well, this one isn't really weird. This is the weird
So
one.
explain this to YouTube.
Okay, so I don't have the dinosaur. So that's the next best thing, essentially.
Wait, what's the dinosaur that you run in Spright?
What's that dinosaur thing? Yeah, that thing.
Oh.
It's just it's the Earth target for Mannequin Cat.
Oh, that's
And
sick.
Kashtira Fenrir ends up becoming one of those. So if they decide not to, negate or banish or whatever, they're doing with certain things, you can, put that on the field and it really screws with people. But
Does this come
one
up? Does this come up maybe not today, but
It hasn't come up today. It did come up at the Pride event once. And unfortunately, I couldn't actually summon the Mannequin Cat, so I just couldn't do it. But I did side it in. It's just one of those things where it's like it's a monster negate. It's exactly the same thing as Ash on my turn to get a free red or carrot, that is like, oh, you summoned an earth monster. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to put a monster negate on the field now. You know, and if you don't have to use it, then you just tribute it because there's no other rock monsters in this deck. Of course, this card means a little bit to me with, you know, the Magnet Warrior deck, so I like to keep it there. Tetsudo came up today, won me a game.
What was the situation?
Marincess can play around Tetsudo, but I did it at a point where they couldn't. There was no option. So, yeah, you special summon a water monster, and I just say no to anything over 1800. While I have a carrot in defense mode and a 3200, you know, gigantic sprite, like it's just you can't do much about that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and you know, I had the mannequin cat on the field even still, and I think I still had a shadow mosquito. So it was just like a whole bunch of, you know, stuff. Something on Dark Ruler, I actually haven't cited it in once playing this deck.
I think that might be because like our locals doesn't have really that great of targets for it. At least I mean I don't know about your matchups at the Pride event, but like I think Dark Ruler is specifically right now for Spright.
Yeah, it is, and then even then, you know, it still isn't even really that good.
Yeah, because they can play through, especially if it's the synchro variant like TJ's.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
His starter's a card.
yeah, you can just set starter. It just gets kind of nuts. Like, I mean, even with smashers and double cross, like, you can't negate those with Dark Ruler. So like, it's just not amazing. That's probably going to just switch out to these.
Ooh.
For the next event.
What would you end on to tribute this gigantic?
Well, you can do anything. I mean, I end on a lot of just
The Bystial, yeah, the Bystials, yeah.
I just end on a lot of random things. I mean, you know, sometimes I just have a level 2 kind of just left over and I just can't do anything about it, you know? So, and that's where, like, you know, smashers comes in. But if I'm able to tribute it and really, really screw somebody over rather than, you know, non-target banish something on mine and their field, which is really good, don't get me wrong. But getting stuff out of their hand is just that much crazier. So, and like you said, I might be able to get a Bystial or something on the field, or you know. So even during just during their draw phase, you just get them. So
awesome.
Yeah, especially like playing runick, or I mean, Sky Striker is going to be a big one for that. Sky Striker's coming back pretty heavily. I see.
Yup, everyone's on it.
Yeah, I saw, 3 people at the Pride event were playing it, which is like more than I've ever seen at any event since I started playing. So.
And branded, of course. So like Eradicator's just really good, and then it hits lab too.
Oh yeah, Eradicator.
Call traps.
Absolutely. Yeah, you call traps.
You're like GG.
Yeah, even in branded, like I mean, you just call spells. I just can't
You're like GG.
do anything about it, you know. So.
Yeah, so yeah. I think the list looks amazing. I guess like going forward, do you see yourself maybe transitioning over to the runick build or like a live twin build, or are you kind of happy on this build until the next
I'm
format?
happy on this build. I might try some funny things with, like, say, you know, the Melfi cards, or I might even think of trying to go into the octopus, just, you know, so I can throw a Barone on the field. But to be honest, I don't really ever see anybody playing Nib anymore, so there's no point of going into a Barone. And even so, by the time someone would want to nib me, I have a Spright red on the field, so it's not like they can.
Or the gigantic Spright to just lock them out of nibbing you.
Yeah, with this deck, actually, I end up summoning more, like, 5 before gigantic Spright.
Yeah.
Just as, like, precautionary things. That's just, like, a more of my play style type of deal. But I'll always have the Spright red out, basically ASAP, because of that. My feature match against Striker actually played a little bit different. Cause, you know, Justin's, he's my boyfriend, so like I know a lot about his deck, and I know that he probably wouldn't side in nibs against me. And I can't remember if he actually took him out or not, but sad. He probably should have won that. Banishing 3 Ray and a Rose
off of
and an engage.
It just, yeah.
And then not being able to play, and then you just set 5 pass and get hit with a lightning storm is just.
That's an all-time.
Absolutely devastating. You know, just break. That would just break someone. So.
Well,
Unfortunate that happened, but it happened.
congratulations to doing that to your boyfriend. And congratulations on
Yeah.
winning locals tonight with your
Hear
amazing
about
deck
it later.
profile.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Thank you very much. Do you have any shout outs, Dana?
Oh yeah, definitely shout out MetaGamesGX here for taking the time and reviewing the deck. I really like doing these. Just they're fun. I play a lot of different decks, so hopefully we'll see that Dark Magician build.
Oh my gosh,
sometime
please.
soon. Yeah, and
The goo.
Definitely solely because of this guy right here. I don't know if you know what he does, you know what he does.
What? That's a crazy
but-
card.
He's a level 8 light spellcaster monster, and you get to play cards like the Iris Sword Soul and just spec him out, and then as soon as your opponent's say they're playing for example Marincess, I guess they're playing a water deck, as soon they special summon something, I banish all other water monsters, like it's just
Also duality, so many things to come.
I get duality. That's what I'm saying with Iris Sword Soul and certain things like it's just absolutely bonkers. I mean, you can even duality this out to just bring out Dragoon after you're done using it,
Crazy.
So yeah, hopefully that deck will be coming up pretty soon. But
Great, and then also I'll update once Dana gets eventually her channel going because she will be doing Yu-Gi-Oh content as well. So please check her out. Link will be in the description eventually. So, all right, bye now.